Thank you, Seamus. Thank you very much. My job is going to be very easy because all these fellows are very articulate, and they're going to tell you about their history and about what influenced some of their original music, which I think you're going to find really fascinating. Once again, I'm Karen Benson. I want to welcome you to the Front Porch Series here at the Hampton History Museum on Thursday evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. When I was in college studying communications, I had to take a class called the History of Rock and Roll Music, and it was a lab class where you went to the lab and you listened to cassette tapes or some reel-to-reel tapes at that point in time, and you just listened to all of this music, and it was like old folk music and blues music, and it was scratchy recordings. I remember listening to it and saying, hold it. Those are lyrics, those are Jimi Hendrix lyrics, or that's Bob Dylan lyrics, or that's a Rolling Stone song. And sure enough, those were the influences of those particular groups. So I find that we have a very rich history here, especially in Virginia. If anyone's ever had the chance to visit the Crooked Trail, you know that this is where banjos first came from Africa, homemade banjos. They became guitars, and they later became string bands, and they later became rock and roll music. So I think you're going to find it really interesting what has influenced the music of these fellows on stage today as they write their original music and as they play some of the cover tunes you'll hear. Do you want to say anything, Ramblin Jake, about what we're going to expect in your first set?
Well, I'm really thankful for everybody coming out, and Seamus and the Hampton History Museum for having us all out here. Really delighted around Robin for having us on her program in the city of Hampton. So it's just, it's great being a bunch of Hampton-based folks for the most part, being able to play with other Hamptonites, I guess that is. So. But the first set of things we're going to be doing, actually, so Ray Bruce and I had gotten together a few years back ago, 2018, a few years ago, and Ray had just a volume of wonderful original music. He has those origins, I think, that Karen was talking about, that found their way through Jimi Hendrix and Bob Dylan, those kind of artists. And I came through a different kind of eclectic pathway, and we have this, what I just find really fascinating and enjoyable blend of music, and all the musicians. Ian Lyons had a rock and country background, and Danny Mac, who's come up through here in Hampton for many, many years, and Kurt Patterson came up through reggae and country and rock, just so many influences. So we have a wonderful time as a group, and the first one I'm going to let Ray talk about this first original is. And
so this guest host thing that you do, they try to pick somebody that kind of knows the band, you know, a little bit. You may know us a little too well. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. You know?
Oh yeah. Who knows what's about to come out here tonight?
You are going to be a little discreet as you're interviewing us, right? Okay. Promise me.
Just don't forget what I dreamed.
Okay. Now the first song I'm going to do is real simple. It's a pretty simple song. You've heard the chorus before, with different words. It's called Tomorrow, and it's just a feel-good little song. You know, just something to get things going. Not a real big deal. This is called Tomorrow. Okay. 1, 2, 3. They don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tomorrow will take care of itself. I'm thinking about today and I ain't worried about nothing else. Ain't gonna cry for you, baby. Crying don't do me no good. Ain't gonna cry for you, baby. Crying don't do nobody no good. Tomorrow I'll be feeling fine like I knew I would. guys can get some food and you know, something to drink and everything. So the theme of food and drink. Okie dokie. This next song is by Hank Williams. I don't need to introduce it, but I'll tell you anyhow. It's called Jambalaya, okay? And it's followed by an instrumental song called Whiskey Before Breakfast. Not whiskey for breakfast, whiskey before breakfast, okay? We do not recommend this. And I say we haven't done it, Karen. Now, I made you promise to be careful with what you said. Now here I am up here, you know, spilling all the beans and everything. So go figure. Okay, Hank Williams song followed by an instrumental about a particular beverage. Kick it off, Jake. Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go, me oh my. We gotta go. Down the bayou, like your mom, sweetest one, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, you'll have good fun on the bayou. But Jambalaya, coffee pie, leg gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my Caribbean. Big guitar, fill fruit jar, and the ale. Son of a gun. song features Jake on the lead vocals.
Check.
All right, yeah, Jake.
Yeah, this one, we're going to stay in the Cajun mode. That Jambalaya is a little bit of Cajun, and this one is, I know Donna from the 460 Cafe came all the way, she and John Westbrook over there came all the way from Ivor for this. And they love the Cajun up there in Ivor.
I don't know.
They have people that speak French up there.
I don't know whether
Actually, we got a Newfoundlander in the back who speaks a little bit of French. You'll be hearing a little bit from him a little bit later.
He came all the way from Newfoundland to hear us tonight?
But so we're gonna continue a little bit with this Cajun thing. This is called The Back Door by D.L. and Narnell. One thing I did want to mention, because Seamus did ask us, this first set, if it's not an original, it's in the public domain. It's an old, eclectic, and one thing we found out in the research to make sure we're just gonna be straight tonight, is that Hank Sr., maybe folks don't realize it, but Hank Sr., his entire repertoire is in the public domain. And it's kind of one of the reasons that you hear, folks doing that, those numbers, over and over again, so, for good reason. So this one's called The Back Door.
By the way, it is sung in French, so there will be a pop quiz. Listen carefully.
Was the bell on a bed of table, on a place of dance with a honky tonk, on a revenue, the in the mumate, they sure it's hot, before I take the song. Jacobson on the fucking dome, hurry on.
You understood everything he was saying.
Blood.
We have no choice but to take his words for it.
I want to know what Sylvia thinks. Were those accurate words? Or?
More fiddle. Not more cowbell. More cowbell, that's a big fan. More fiddle. We're not too loud, are we? I hope not. Okay. Because that's not our intention, is to get up here and nail everybody.
We're hearing the fiddle out there, though, right? More fiddle? Wait, we're not.
Okey-dokey. Well, I'll use this opportunity to introduce the next song. Every time I hear feedback in the band, I play Foxy Lady. Okay? Oh my gosh. next song is called Last Summer. And, not gonna bore you with all the backstory and everything, but it's not really about a physical seasonal summer. It's more about the seasons of your life, that kind of thing, you know. Have you ever dreamed about flying straight in the sun, only to discover, oh, it's already been done, while you lie dreaming with your eyes closed, believing in dreams and the world that goes on by. Well, there's a man I know too well. I see him often at the wishing well. His love is gold, but he'll never sell it. His time's not long, but he cannot tell it. 'Cause he's still dreaming with his eyes closed, believing in dreams and the world that goes on by. And when you lay down at night, it's hard to close your eyes. But every once in a while, you stop and realize that your last summer, your last summer. Go ahead. And so, my friend, remember, the summer's short, but the winter is long. Find someone who loves you. Don't lose your way chasing after a song. 'Cause you'll lie dreaming with your eyes closed, believing in dreams and the world that goes on by. You'll lie dreaming with your eyes closed. I believe in the dreams and the world that goes on by. Just goes by.
Okay, that's an original by Ray. Woohoo! Now, I knew my job was going to be super duper easy, so I'm just going to let you guys kind of roll with this, but that was original that you just did. And why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what inspired you? Maybe not that particular song, but
Boredom. No, I don't know. You know, I have ideas, you know, as the day goes on, it's very annoying. My house is a mess. Because, you know, start to wash the dishes and, oh, here's an idea for a song, something like that.
but you've been writing music for many, many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing in particular. I'm sorry. I'm a pretty boring guy.
Well, no, you're not. You're doing great. You're rolling with it. Well, we're going to roll into a couple more originals here, and we're going to start with one of yours, Ramblin Jake, called Old Prince. So tell us a little bit about that.
Old Prince is a song about a horse. And it's a song about a horse I learned to ride when I was knee-high, just a little kid in South Carolina. During COVID, it's kind of significant because during COVID, we weren't playing. Of course, no one was playing. So that was, I pulled out a couple songs, and a friend of mine told me about a radio promoter, and I moved out with the song, and it did real well. Did real well, particularly in the farming country, farming AM/FM radio stations in the Midwest, small towns. It did pretty decent in there, and it kind of carried it forward, so that when the different radio promoters were nominating their favorite songs for, I thought maybe on the outside chance I might get emerging artists. This is a small market now, small market AM/FM. But I thought maybe on the outside chance I might get emerging artists, and we got a nomination, so it was pretty amazing.
Okay.
National.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this song was
So this song is about a horse that you rode when you were a child, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that bow that you're playing your fiddle with is made
Cheers to
with,
my
that's made out
Now
of,
when I'm getting ready to play a
the bow
song.
is made out of horsehair, right? You didn't, I just making sure.
Isn't that cat gut on your strings?
That's more
We thought you were a vegetarian, Ray.
anyway.
Hey, Danny, help us out here. Stepping down the trail, then in a mouth, right in his head. Where are we going? Lord knows where, but old friends, get us there. Where are we going? Lord knows where, but old friends, get us there. I was stoking my campfire late one night, making some beans, everything was alright. Looking to the sound of a rustling tree, and there was old friends, and watching me. Looking to the sound of a rustling tree, and there was old friends, and watching me. I was died down, almost an arm, kept me and the span kids away from harm. I learned to ride 'em, I was only knee high, now think about it on every trail ride. I learned to ride 'em, I was only knee high, now think about it on every trail ride. Morning, Danny. We went for a ride, hot summer day, a bunch of yellow jackets got in our way. One stone prince on the behind, and we bolted it off like a man with a shot. One stone prince on the behind, and we bolted it off like a man with a shot. Old prince, stepping down the trail, old prince, stepping down the trail, old prince, stepping down the trail, old prince, stepping down the trail. Where are we going? Lord knows where, but old prince, we'll get us there. This is Gray Eagle by Mark O'Connor.
Okay, good job, guys. Okay, we're going to have a visual coming up by you, Ray, and you do have a story about this one. But first, I want to remind everybody, Seamus asked me to tell you, it's a beautiful evening, and don't be shy. If you'd like to get up during the performance and go out for a glass of wine or a beer, that's encouraged, and you can bring it back here and enjoy it while you watch the show. So, and now, tell us about this one. I know there's a story behind it, Ray.
Yeah, this is another original. Trains. It is a federal law, I believe, that every songwriter has to write a train song. Is that correct? That's true, John. I think it's true. I think it flew through Congress on the bottom of a bill that gave everybody in Congress a raise. And nobody noticed it, back in 1973 or something like that. So we were going to fulfill our legal obligation, and this is our train song. It's actually called "She Thinks I Don't Care," but we just call it the train song. It's easier to remember, okay? And it's a train song, but it's from a slightly different perspective. If you've ever been stuck at a railroad crossing with the little thing and the little red lights that are going on, if you stare at the red lights too long, it kind of turns into a little hula dancer, but we're not going to go there.
It only happens to you.
See, Karen, I get you to shut
I'm saving this material.
Okay. No, but seriously, if you've ever been stuck at a train crossing, and the train is just sitting there, it ain't doing nothing, it's just sitting there, and you have somewhere important to go, okay? If that's the case, you might be able to relate to this song, okay? Danny, start the song. Still on the tracks, giving it a long, hard stare. And it ain't doing nothing, but staring right back. No, it ain't going nowhere. I got cars in the front, a truck in the back. No room to turn around. And my cell phone just drained its battery pack. Now it won't make a sound. Thank you. Ah, I got you to clap. All right. That's my goal tonight, to get this guy. I got there. That's. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, this next song. Show of hands. How many people walk through that door going, man, I hope this band plays a song about post-traumatic stress syndrome. I've seen one. Oh, you were just adjusting your glasses. I'm sorry, Amy. Okay, and we're not making light of the subject whatsoever.
Newfoundlander was hoping we would.
Yeah, okay. We're seriously not making light of it whatsoever, but that's what this song is about. The song is called I'm the Stranger Now, and the gist of the song, without getting into too much detail, is that if you're involved in warfare in any way, shape, or form, it will change you, okay? You know, you'll go away for your deployment, you'll come back, and your parents, you know, and your girlfriend or boyfriend, as the case may be, may not recognize you. You will be a different person. Maybe ever so slightly, but you will be a different person. And sometimes you don't even recognize yourself, you know. Anyway, this is called I'm the Stranger Now. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. I wrote this next song, I wrote it a long time ago. So if the lyrics seem inappropriate for a 70-year-old guy to sing, just bear with it. Oh, did I say I was 70 years old? I didn't mean to say that.
Freudian slip.
7 weeks away from being 71. This is called Lover. Well, that was fun. Okay, this next song, what's that? Oh, yeah. Martha's favorite song. Okay, I'll try to make this brief. Martha was present at our rehearsal. When we learned this song, she heard us play this song like 70 times, trying to get the bridge right. She walked out of that room going, if I ever hear that song again, I'm going to kill somebody. That's pretty close to what you were thinking, isn't it? Anyway, it was There was a local musician back in the day named John Slater. Anybody remember him? He was a saxophone player. I do. You remember? Yep, right. Wonderful saxophone player. And anyway, the song is very loosely dedicated to John. John and I shared a house, and I used the term, we shared a dwelling. There's a distinction between a dwelling and a house, I guess. We shared a dwelling, and one day he stood out front and he said, Ray, he said, if we ever make it big, that's going to be our first album cover. Me standing in front of this place, and the title is going to be Johnny Doesn't Live Here Anymore, okay? So that's the name of this song. And that's where the song started, but then it just kind of took on a life of its own. Anyway. I'm running on battery power tonight because for some reason my amplifier buzzed, and I didn't want to subject you guys to that. So I'm fighting for tone here, but it's okay. At least we don't have to listen to all night long, unless I do that in the microphone. Okay, Johnny Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Okay, woohoo! Give it up for Through with Therapy and Ramblin Jake.
Thank you.
This is a point we're going to take a short break, guys. You can use the restrooms, have a beverage. Want to thank you once again for coming out to the Front Porch Music Series here at Hampton History Museum. And we'll be back to get to know the band a little better and hear lots of good music.
I think in so many words you're saying, go outside, get drunk, and we'll be back here. We'll be back. Sound better?
And they'll sound even better.
Come back. Come on back.